All right, if you're a regular reader, listener, viewer at FITSNews, you know that we've been focusing for many months now on judicial corruption in the Palmetto State, particularly judges who let violent criminals back on the streets and the state lawmakers who continue to reelect those judges to their positions. I've argued repeatedly that this system is not serving the Palmetto State, as evidenced by a troubling rise in violent crime, and I think that those statistics bear me out. Now, today we've got a big story up on our website about the docket. For those of you unfamiliar with this term, the docket is essentially the court's schedule. It is the cases that are scheduled to appear before each judge. And for many years, the docket was controlled by solicitors or the district attorneys in each one of the Palmetto State's 16 judicial circuits. Now, in 2012, all of that changed. In that year, the Supreme Court took control over the docket, essentially taking ownership, if you will, of the schedule of cases that their judges hear. Now, has this worked? No, not really. And one of the problems is that the court created its docket management system in secret, using only input from current or former solicitors that had favor with the court. So fast forward to this past week. Across the state, solicitors are upset at the lethargy of our court system, the slowness with which justice moves, the fact that they're trying to get criminals held accountable for their acts, but the gears of justice are moving at a snail's pace. And in fact, this was exacerbated during the COVID pandemic when basically justice in South Carolina ground to a halt. Driving all this at the statewide level is Supreme Court Chief Justice Donald Beatty. Now, Donald Beatty is a former Democratic lawmaker who was somehow elected by the Republican-controlled General Assembly as a Supreme Court justice back in 2007. Now, Beatty has since been reelected and is now the Chief Justice of the South Carolina Supreme Court. Now, Beatty was the subject this week of a scathing letter that was issued by a South Carolina solicitor, and that has created a sort of crisis, if you will, within the judicial branch that has prompted Beatty to schedule a meeting for this week, this Wednesday, with all 16 South Carolina solicitors and with the chief administrative judges in each of those circuits. Now, what's going to happen at that meeting? We don't know. It's not a public meeting. Again, it's the judge getting together with these prosecutors and the administrative judges trying to fix this badly broken docket, which again is slowing and in some cases grinding the administration of justice to a halt in this state. Now, we haven't been provided with a copy of this scathing letter. Now, I have heard that the Post and Courier did receive a copy of this letter and were provided chapter and verse on all the many problems plaguing the Palmetto State's docket. Now, where's their story on all this? Well, they didn't publish one, people. They didn't publish one. And I'm not sure why, but I do know that if that sort of information comes to this news outlet, if we'd received that letter, you would have read it already. And the reason you would have read it already is that we believe in putting this information out for you, the readers, not only to decide what you think of the issue, but to take the action that you can take as a citizen in response to it. Calling your lawmaker, telling them that, hey, this system that you guys continue to prop up year after year isn't working. It isn't keeping our state safe. It isn't serving the interests of justice, and it sure as hell isn't protecting the victims of these violent crimes, who the perpetrators continue to be set free, again, with little to no accountability. Folks, we have a judicial crisis in the Palmetto State right now, and it is directly contributing to the rise of violent crime in this state. And until we fix it, we're not going to be safe. And until we fix it, those who are responsible for these violent acts are going to continue to get off. It's time for that to change. And if you want to see it change, if you want to put pressure, go to news outlets that actually have the courage to stand up for it, not the ones that take a pass.